if you remember this, Fern, I'm going to bring us way back. You and I, here's where I think we met. Ready? Are you ready? Because you're going to remember it as soon as I tell you. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
King of Prussia, you and Denise Thomas picking me up at Terminal F of the Philadelphia airport.
There is no Terminal F.
Exactly. So, but that was the first time we met. We had all flown in to Philadelphia. We were working a seminar at King of Prussia. And
also, do you know that we were the spark of Denise's marriage?
Well, I'm going to get there. So, for those of you that don't know Denise, we're talking about Denise Thomas, a longtime flow master. I believe she now works with CompTrain.
She does, correct.
Something to do with CompTrain now. But great human being. She's been in our coaches development group. She's been on the podcast. So I landed in Terminal F, and you guys had landed in a different terminal, obviously. And we spent like 2 hours of you guys trying to find me.
It was far too long. I specifically remember because so anybody who's been to Philadelphia knows that if you're trying to pick up an arrival at Terminal F, it is less than obvious where said terminal is. It's like it's like one off ramp that is like not ideally placed in that whole thing, and that's a fairly large airport. So we actually tried to make it through, and then we left the airport and had to like drive over the bridge and turn around and come back because I was like, we had gone too far. I was like, we literally can't turn around now. We have to keep going
to the rental car area. Like Terminal F, you cannot access any other terminals.
Right.
So I basically had to like meet you in some like obscure Hertz rent-a-car. It was like, that was the only way we can find. So anyway, it was
a nightmare.
We finally meet up, and
so this is actually very relevant and actually very accurate. So all of this build up to then be let down, which is very much what it's like dealing with you, Jay, which is just like a lot of build up and then just very anticlimactic.
You're getting excited, like I'm gonna
I'm like, we're gonna go pick up this guy. He's great. And then I'm just like, the little kid standing over here on the side of the corner with his tote bag. Like, is that who we're picking up?
I don't necessarily remember like, okay, I met Fern like that moment. Because the truth is, we may have met in passing prior to that.
We actually, for sure, I don't know if we've technically met, but I do remember being at either a workshop or a competition or something or other. And I'm gonna let you in on this. I no longer feel this way about you, Jay, but I do actually specifically remember. I can come back to this. I was like, who's that douche with the long hair?
Really?
Yeah, I was just like, who's a little short guy with the long hair? Like, what's going on over there?
Wait. You just said douche and then you said short guy. They are two different things. You can be a short guy and not a douche.
Yeah, but you encompass both of those.
I was both. Okay.
Yeah, you were both.
Fair enough. I think back then I was. I think I agree with you. It's
because you did have a very air of I'm big man back in the day.
I'm all for.
Right, but you had a little bit of a swag, and I was like, look at this little short guy, thinks he's tough.
That's before I've talked about it. It was before I realized I was short.
Yeah, and
so
now it's okay.
Different air about me.
So no, I was aware of, and to be very candid, I had no idea who you were, and I didn't even know where that was, but I know I was familiar with you. Like I'm very good with faces, so I don't like I may not remember names, but I'm very good with faces. I remember faces.
You were probably, amidst competition, 2012 regionals.
I was literally gonna say you were probably on the equipment team while I was competing, being a real athlete. That's probably what happened. And I was like, hey, pick my bar up, like move that out of the way.
You were so focused that you looked over and you just assumed I was him.
I was like, hey, I might not win this competition, but at least I'm not that guy.
But let's go back because there is a funny story about Philadelphia. So Denise and you pick me up. We head to the hotel, which it was a Hilton because they have the cookies.
The DoubleTree.
DoubleTree. Okay, DoubleTree. The cookies. Great hotel every time. And it's like in this kind of area that, 5 minutes away, you've got this huge mall, like a Cheesecake Factory, a Whole Foods, etc. So Denise picks us up. And she's being weird.
No, I was driving because she's giving me shit the whole time about not being able to find.
But okay,
about,
so
and I'm fairly new, so like I'm not sure if she's being serious at this point. I'm just like, she was like, you know how Denise can be kind of serious.
yeah,
She's like, you're not very good at this, and I was like, fuck. I
she
was like, this
has
is
a
not
very
going well.
sarcastic, fun sense
Right.
of humor, and I've known her for a long time. So I interned when on her very first gig that she was hired in
Okay.
Brooklyn. And so you guys pick me up, and she takes us to the hotel, and she's like, "Guys, you need the car quickly because I'm going to use it for the night." Remember? So she goes, "Do you need the car?"
Oh yeah.
And then we go inside, and typically, like, this is how a seminar works. We all get there, you check in. Typically, you put everything down if you haven't already done some grocery shopping, and then you head out to like a Whole Foods and maybe grab some dinner on the Friday night before a seminar. Like nothing
Right.
crazy.
Right.
So Denise, I need the car. So you and I, so we go inside, and there's like two women sitting at the bar. There's Ashley, who will eventually become Denise's wife.
Right.
And then
I know.
there's
I want to come back to that because there's another funny part that I didn't connect until later, but keep going.
so then there's Vika.
Vika.
And,
Yep.
and I'm to this day friends with both of them. And obviously Ashley, is part of my life. She's Denise's wife. Like I was at their wedding. So, but she brings
They
us.
are both phenomenal people.
Yeah, and Ashley's like incredibly smart. I believe she's in the.
Ashley's getting ready to do the 5K or the Frogman swim in Boston, I think. Like
they're training for something. If you check
like
out
next month. Yeah, I think they're both. Yeah, her. Yeah, all three of them. Her. I think Ashley, Denise, and Willie are doing it. Yeah.
Willie being Sarah Wilkinson.
Sarah Wilkinson. Yeah.
So Denise, and Katie, I know you're still listening. You're the only one, by the way, still listening. So
I'm here. Yeah.
Denise literally introduces us and says, "Hey, something to the extent of this is Fern and Ackerman. They're leaving."
They're leaving.
And that was kind of like Fern and I think that's kind of
like,
where we bonded. Like, what's happening?
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
She was so nervous, dude.
So, we can flash forward and say we didn't, and the whole weekend was like this, but we didn't realize like this was about to be their first date.
Yeah, that was our first date.
And there's a huge backstory. I'll let Denise share that at some point, but she was incredibly nervous, which, partly probably why she was acting that way in the car.
That was literally what she said. She's like, this is Fern, this is Jay, they're leaving. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Anytime we've worked together or been in the same room, the three of us since then, and this has got to be 2013.
Probably.
We both knew.
Yeah, this is like almost 8 years ago.
Yeah. So every time we've seen each other since then, we've brought it up. And, and it wasn't for quite some time after that we understood the drama and exactly what was going on. It was
yeah, she didn't tell us for like years later.
Or even like that night, Saturday nights, typically the trainer dinner. We were King of Prussia. I can assume we were with like Rob Miller and Amy Lyons. And I don't remember.
Yeah.
Who,
well, for sure, Amy. I don't know about Rob, but yeah, for sure, Amy.
I remember Saturday night, Denise gave me the credit card and she was like, "I'm not coming to dinner. Here's the card." And they went, but anyway, so you and I went to Whole Foods. I don't really have a strong recollection of it, but I knew we went, like we drove.
We did not go to Whole Foods. We went to Wegmans.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We went to a Wegmans. I love Wegmans.
We have a Wegmans here.
Wegmans, you get live music on Friday nights. Like there's a dude that plays acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
not like a grocery store.
Yeah.
So that to me is my first recollection of meeting you.